Hello everyone, my name is Katya, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet these adorable chickens. It's a fun and easy project. I also want to say a big thank you to Arid Studio for supporting my channel by buying me coffee. If you're interested in supporting my channel, you can buy me coffee. I will leave the link down below, so please check it out, and thank you very much. For this project, I'm using number 6 super bulky yarn. You don't have to use this yarn, you can use any yarn of your choice. You're also going to need your 5mm crochet hook, a little bit of red, black, and brown yarn, and some stuffing. We're going to start with the magic ring. To work on your magic ring, hold on to the yarn tail with your thumb, wrap the yarn around your 2 fingers, hold on to the working yarn with your ring finger, insert the hook underneath the first circle. Using the second circle, bring out a loop. Go into your working yarn and chain 1. If you're having a hard time with the magic ring, you can chain 2 and work single crochets into the first chain. Here we're going to work 6 single crochets for round 1. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull on this yarn tail to tighten the center. For round 2 and the rest of the rounds, you're going to need some sort of a stitch marker. I'm going to be using a piece of yarn. Go ahead and place it right in front of the first single crochet. For round 2, we need to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. Pick up your first stitch and work 2 single crochets. Here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet, and 2. So far we worked 2 single crochets using that first stitch. Now repeat. Go into the next stitch and work 2 single crochets using that stitch. Repeat. 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And like that, you're just going to continue and work around. And at the end of this round, you should have 12 single crochets. So let's go ahead and finish this together. And into the last stitch, work 2 single crochets. For round 3, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch and 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. So that was our increase. Repeat. Work 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochets into the following stitch. 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 18 single crochets. At the end of round 3, you should have 18 single crochets. For round 4, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches. Here's 1. Go into the next stitch, work your second single crochet. And now we're going to work an increase using the following stitch. So work 2 single crochets into that same stitch. So here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. And that's the repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And now 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round, you should have 24 single crochets. At the end of round 4, you should have 24 single crochets. For round 5, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So far we worked 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and into the following single crochet, work an increase. Here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And into the following stitch, work an increase, 2 single crochets. Continue working like this and I'll meet you at the end of this round. So you're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the following stitch. And at the end of this round, you should have 30 single crochets and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 5, you should have 30 single crochets. For round 6, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 4 stitches. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. So it'll be our increase. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round, you should have 36 single crochets, and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 6, you should have 36 single crochets. Round 7 is our last increase round, and we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now work an increase, which is 2 single crochets worked into the same stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of round 7, you should have 42 single crochets. At the end of round 7, you should have 42 single crochets. For round 8, we're going to work 1 single crochet around using back loops only. Normally we pick up 2 loops, but this time pick up only the back loop and work your single crochet using that stitch, the back loop of that stitch. Repeat, pick up the back loop, work a single crochet. Pick up the back loop and work a single crochet. Pick up the back loop and work single crochet. And that's the pattern, is just working 1 single crochet around using back loops only. Continue working and I'll meet you at the end of round 8. You should have 42 single crochets worked into back loops, and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 8, you should have 42 single crochets worked into back loops only. For round 9 all the way to round 13, we're just going to work 1 single crochet around, picking up both loops. And that's all it is here. For 5 rounds, we're just going to work 1 single crochet around. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of round 13. At the end of round 13, this is how it looks like. For round 14, we're going to start with our decreases, and we need to work 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's go ahead and work a decrease. I like to work an invisible decrease, and to do that, we're going to pick up the front loop of the next stitch and then go into the following stitch and pick up the front loop of that stitch. And now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's go ahead and work a decrease. Pick up the front loop, go into the next stitch, and pick up the front loop of that stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through last 2 loops. And that's the pattern. So continue working, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 36 single crochets. Here I'm coming to the end of round 14, and I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to go ahead and work my last decrease using those 2 stitches. For round 15, we're going to work another round of decreases, but this time we're only going to work 1 single crochet into the 4 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and work a decrease using the next 2 stitches. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. And now let's go ahead and work a decrease. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 30 single crochets. At the end of round 15, you should have 30 single crochets. For round 16, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And now let's go ahead and work a decrease. Pick up the loops and work your decrease. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, 2 and 3, and let's work a decrease. And this is the pattern, so continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 24 single crochets. At the end of round 16, you should have 24 single crochets. For round 17, which is our last decrease round, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch and 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And now let's go ahead and work a decrease. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches and work a decrease. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 18 single crochets. At the end of round 17, this is how it looks like. Next, let's go ahead and stuff our work. So bring out a big loop, drop your hook, and using our polyfill or whatever it is you like to use, go ahead and stuff your work. There is no right or wrong here. It just depends on how much stuffing you use. That's how big your chicken will be. I'm going to continue and stuff my work, and then I'll meet you back. At the end, this is how it looks like. Let's go ahead and slip stitch these 2 sides together, and to do that I'm just picking up the stitches right next to the stitch where we finished working, right here. So pick up the stitches right next to it, both loops from both stitch, and slip stitch. And again, go to the next 2 stitches, pick up the loops, and slip stitch. Repeat. Pick up the stitches and slip stitch. And like that, I'm just going to continue and slip stitch these 2 sides closed. Here I'm coming to the end. I'm going to pick up this stitch right here, both loops, and then go to the next one on the back, pick up both loops and slip stitch. Chain 1 and fasten off. You can cut your yarn. Pull out your hook, tighten it, and this is how it looks like. Let's go ahead and hide this yarn tail. You can use your hook, insert it into your work, bring it out right next to this yarn tail, wrap the yarn tail around and pull it on the inside of your work. Try it one more time. And now you can cut this piece. Next, let's go ahead and work on the comb. To work on the comb, we're going to use the first slip stitch right here. This is where we ended round 17 and we started slip stitching. We're going to go into these stitches right here. Insert your hook. Try to go through both sides if you can. And now using the red yarn, we're going to wrap it around our hook and pull through. Hold on to the yarn tail and chain 2. I'm going to turn my work. Using this same stitch where we inserted our hook into, we're going to work 5 double crochets. I'm holding on to the yarn tail as I work on my double crochets. And that's all it is here. It's just working 5 double crochets into that same stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you're finished, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch right into the next stitch, right next to it. Go ahead and slip stitch. And chain 1 and cut your yarn. Tighten it. And this is how it looks like. Now let's go ahead and hide these yarn tails really quickly. And for this one, you can use the hook the same exact way as we did before, or you can use a yarn needle. I think I'm going to use a yarn needle. I feel like it'll be easier, but both ways will work. So right next to it where we finished, we're just going to insert our needle and bring it out anywhere on the side. Pull it out. We're going to cut this and repeat the same thing with this one. Let's go ahead and crochet the beak. So right over here, I kind of folded it together using a third round down. So here's 1, 2, 3. So right about here between round 3 and 4, insert your hook. Using our brown yarn, we're going to wrap it around the hook and pull through. Hold on to the yarn tails. Now, let's go ahead and chain 2. Here's 1, 2. Into the second chain from the hook, slip stitch. And now slip stitch back into that same stitch where we started. Going around and picking it up and slip stitch. Chain 2 again. 1, 2. Here you have a choice. You can chain 3 and work 2 slip stitches, or chain 2 and work 1 slip stitch. Both ways will work. It just depends how long of a beak you want. So I'm going to slip stitch. And last slip stitch is going to be right where we started working. Go into that stitch and slip stitch. Let's go ahead and chain 1 and cut our yarn. We're done with the beak. Pull out your hook. Tighten it, and same way, let's go ahead and hide our yarn tails really quickly. This is how our chicken looks like so far. Let's go ahead and add some eyes. Now you can use anything you like. You can add felt, cut out little circles and glue them on, beads, buttons. I'm going to be using just my regular yarn and needle. I added a pin about 1 round down and about 1.5 stitch over. I'm going to remove the pin, and using that single crochet, I'm going to go ahead and add my needle and pull through, hold on to the yarn tail, and now I'm just going to go around that single crochet. Here's 1, and I'm going to do it 1 more time, and 2. Here's my first eye, and I'm going to repeat the same thing to the other side. Now coming to the other side, I'm going to go back inside the work and bring my needle out right where the pin is. Remove the pin, pull through, and now using that single crochet, trying to measure, make sure that it's the same, about the same, and just using that single crochet, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 stitches. Here's 1, go around that single crochet, and here's my second one. So it's about the same. Now using this yarn tail, I'm just going to do the same thing and just bring it down anywhere on the side, even at the bottom if you like to. If your needle is long enough, pull it through. Don't pull it too hard. And cut this one, and then repeat the same thing to this yarn tail. Last thing we need to do is add wings to the chickens. Now you can stop here if you like, or you can add the wings, and they're very easy to do, and I'll show you how to work on the wings. Slip knot to start and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Into this first chain, we're going to work 12 double crochets. Here's one. I like to work my yarn tail in. That way I can just tighten the center. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue working until you have a total of 12 double crochets, and I'll meet you back. I finished working 12 double crochets, and to end this round, we're going to slip stitch using the first double crochet right here. Slip stitch. And now let's go ahead and chain 6. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go back into that same stitch where we slip stitched into the very first one, and slip stitch using that stitch. Slip stitch into the next stitch and chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and slip stitch back into that same stitch and repeat. Go into the next stitch and chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip stitch back into that same stitch. Repeat 2 more times. So you're going to slip stitch, chain 7, slip stitch, chain 7, slip stitch, and then I'll meet you right over here. We'll work on this stitch together. So here we worked a total of 4 of 7 chains, and then we have one where we have only 6 chains, and let's go ahead and work on one more with the 6 chains. So go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch and chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch back into that same stitch, chain 1, and cut a little longer yarn tail for sewing. Remove your hook, tighten it, and here's your wing. Go ahead and work on one more wing, same exact way. Once you have your 2 wings, we're going to attach them by using the sides of the chicken. So right over here, just kind of eyeball it and see where you like your wings to be. I like to use about 1 to 3 stitches over where the eye is, and I'm just going to go ahead and pin it down and repeat the same thing to the other side. Here's 1, 2, 3. So right about there. And I'm just checking the top. So I have about 1 stitch over. And this one, I think I need to bring it up a little bit. Like so. And once you like the way they look, we're going to sew them down. I went ahead and I moved my wings down. So instead of having 1 round showing, I have 2 rounds showing. And same thing here. And to sew, we're going to use our long yarn tail that we left and come right over here. So here is where we finished. Use this stitch right here. Go into that stitch and pick up the stitch from the chicken. And now go into the next stitch. So I'm just using a running stitch here. Once that's done, repeat. Go into the next stitch. Go inside the body and come right out. Pull through, and then one more time we're going to repeat, go into the next stitch and bring it out right somewhere next to the wing. the little chains that we did. Pull through, and that's it. We're going to hide this yarn tail same exact way. Go underneath the wing, and somewhere on the back, just go ahead and pull through, and you're done. And repeat the same thing with this wing. Here are finished chickens. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.